for a counter flash. Simple, but effective. Goes for the swing and gets 2 kills through that open door. And this time, well, he closes it on them. 2-2. OASIS on these eco rounds. So deadly. They've got ultimates to burn, and that's the first one to come off here.
And Marky now deciding to go in. At least for OASIS. They got the space that they need from Marky. Aftershock though for the stall. Stopping them in their tracks though. And you could see the finish line there, but Southfield Esports now deciding to move the markers. And this is what beyond the board. Ripper Marky doing the kills, but Pro! Left and right, all the angles he can take! Come on, man.
Right
He started the scene. He's ready to end the lives of OASIS there. SPE now up by 1.
I'm worried for his wrist after that one, not gonna lie.
I mean...
Like, of all players.
Someone call a therapist real quick.
Yeah,
Just
I think he's gonna need a masseuse. Yeah. Make sure he can still play another map if in case it does come to it, but... Wow. Great shutdown here, but expensive round for OASIS to use a lot of ultimates in that round here, Dax.
So this is why Pro uses the Phantom, man. There are like 30 bullets, right? In the Phantom. Isn't that his age too, basically?
Plus like 2 or 3.
Oh, so it's even worse. Okay, someone buy him
What
an Odin.
I know is he's a year over Jesse Vash. So whatever Jesse Vash's age, that's him.
Yeah, so someone give Pro an Odin by this point. Just so he can get back to his number.
Make it up to what, 50 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, case in point, this is why there's active coaches sometimes in the PH scene, some great minds, but these guys are still able to play, and well, Envy looking to play versus Ja. OASIS Gaming, even though off screen they have a very big take on the B side yet again, but Papi Chulo in the corner, ready to get Marky spanking as he goes on down. Envy over to find out Papi Chulo dropping down to OASIS Gaming now, going for the wraparound. Will we see OASIS find the frags anyway? But that's it. Now it's gone overdrive and ready with the lightning, striking twice even on the same ground, making it a third. A force of nature waiting to happen, and assist will get them all there. That's 4 for him at the end. SPE survived thanks to the run gun antics. We're really here blasting them all the way with the speed of light and the speed of assist. An ROG clutch there at the end.
I mean, Dax, if you want to talk about South Built and OASIS and whose map this is, yes, it is Wild Oreo who has popped off in that last series between them on Fracture, but so did Aziz when he has played Fracture time and time on over both versus Action and OASIS Gaming. How many 4Ks, how many aces have we actually seen from this man in clutches? Have we seen him just throw back on this Neon here on Fracture, especially that first time around, as I said, on versus Action Esport, Action PH during the group stage. So another round, Dax, that Southbuilt aren't supposed to win, but they still pull a hat trick out in the half just to take it.
It's not even just, it's like a quad feed for him by this point. Cue the kill streak because Aziz has decided to play that counter UAV and just running around like that. Southfield Esports running and gunning? Say it ain't so, man. That's all what they're used to.
From me.
All the time. You just hear the song playing. Sometimes, guys, when Black and Blue is just watching the Neon, doesn't even need to cast anymore. It just starts playing on in his head. The whole time. Just the montage, just Aziz doing it, you know?
It's that 5-second clip over and over. Take all you want from me.
And
the back.
So if he gets a kill, this is a repeat again. Take all you want from me. Take all you want from me. Nice. That's a different kind of LSS, man. It's just like, I know this one sentence from the song, that's it.
Well, that's a hell of a run it back moment, but Eco here forced upon OASIS. We've seen them convert these time and time again, Dax, but thing is, they don't have the tour de force, which is such a crucial part of their eco rounds during bind on map number 1, that I'm not too sure if this eco is going to be as efficient as it might otherwise be with that potential tour de force, but still, the Sheriff's very deadly with it. Wild Oreo, rather, Marky also has his overdrive to really turn things up if they really need to.
I mean, come on, they have an S in the name. Like, Southbelt, this is Always Sheriff.
Always Sheriff.
Always Sheriff. A little bit forceful compared to Sheriff Built Esports, but I'll take it. I made it. I will own it. And you know, you sometimes just gotta love your own babies, even though no one else would.
OAS, bro.
OAS.
Which means Odins and Sheriffs.
So that's the problem. That's why they lost the last map. Because they didn't play the Odin. You're right. Or maybe it has to be Origins and Sheriffs. So you need to play the Origin skin line. Man, you're smart. This is why you're an analyst. I wonder for what team though.
I don't really make it.
Hey, someone's mad though. I suddenly thought this was a Filipino broadcast, but no, the Neon
seconds
of
left.
Marky ready for the overdrive. And Flippy's just playing possum in the spawn. 1, 2, 3,
Spike
come
down.
to me.
Defender
It's
spawn.
easy for Flippy
One
as he
enemy
turns this round to his head.
Long.
And well, it's a 4K there in the end. A flawless win for Southfield Esports. They all just went in to die there at the hand of Flippy, man.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have gone for the A plant at least. They had a decent position to get that plant off, secure 300 credits, and then go for the kills, but I think they kind of forgot step one, and they pay a
seconds
really
left.
hefty price for that. Flippy, I know Dax, you've talked many praise for this man ever
I love
since even
Flippy.
last
Spike
day.
down. One enemy
Definitely, I
remaining.
can tell. And he really does give them a totally new look, a flexible player coming from that former Action Squad, and for him to be on this roster, I think is a perfect fit considering how they're all pretty much flex players, and he does that as well.
I mean, come on. We honestly talk about
give me a
Southfield a lot
corpse.
being the old
Give me
team,
a- give me a
but
corpse. Give me a
the young
corpse.
guns of Southfield are Aziz and Flippy, right? And you can see their impact. You can see how they can change the pace of a game on a whim for Southfield Esports. Just a little bit with the new generation mixes the old, and well, the oldest guard will fall there asleep. It's doing the takedown on the pro. It's the young guns now. Oasis Gaming deciding to take this generation and put them at the helm of control. A-site now being taken. SBE falling apart at the seams, and it's unfortunate that's Flippy who dies first because I do believe he was ready with the ultimate at the very least. So Oasis Gaming should be an easier take by now. Pick apart the opposition one by one, put them in one corner, Aziz and Papi Chulo, all up to you.
Yeah, but with him being in that committed position there behind the box, there's just no way for him to really have a good spot to throw that out and to really utilize it. But Aziz sliding onto his own demise into it leaves us with Papi Chulo 1v5. This is going to be much more difficult. I think too difficult for even a player like him. Gets flashed, finds 3 to make it a bit more expensive here, a bit more costly for Oasis, but in the end, Oasis do get the round. Very clean, proficient round for the most part, barring the last bit of it, but hey, be happy with securing it.
They suffered losses in like 2v4 scenarios and whatnot. Take the win and take what you can get. Problem is though, it is still a problem because Oasis, they finally get a bit of recovery. Still not the best economy, and if Southfield Esports can keep stifling the Oasis economy like this, then we're not gonna get some good GDP values at the end of the year, man. This is just gonna be them trying to keep afloat, pay that debt, and at least keep buying guns for the people who need to as much as possible. So one loss can really break the balance of Oasis Gaming here in terms of the rounds. And not only that, Ja again, when in doubt, go for the Ja operator. He's a smooth criminal waiting to happen. Rendezvous though, actually set here. He goes for the shot, but I don't think that. Okay, there you go. Finally gonna get into the range. He was scared off by the camera. Infi though in the corner. Very, very difficult scenario. At least he can get another pass. Problem is though, Aziz will chase him. Flippy making the trade work. Better with a kill rather than none for Infi at least. Oasis Gaming take advantage of the distraction. And towards B side they go. Rolling Thunder though. The answer to Coco adding it up, and Wild Warrior finds throw along the way. So Oasis, the first step was taking the site. The second step is going for the stun, and the third step now is killing them all. A 3-step progress that's being broken here by Papi Chulo. All of the gains lost now. 2v2 scenario. Bit difficult though because it's the operator on the retake. But Papi Chulo, he wants to prove that the tower is his. Can he climb on up, ascend to those heavens? Markito finding Ja Ripper on the other side, and Oasis, they still make it work. Very, very deadly defense here from SBE right now, but Oasis getting the rounds that they need.
Yeah, 2 rounds in a row finally that the Oasis were looking for. To be able to string 2 early on at the start of the half, but the 5-round run from Southfield was starting to build up a bit too much steam. Got to quell those flames for a moment, and even if they were able to maybe get the kill there on Marky, still had the orbital strike in the hands here of Ripper, which is going to be very difficult to try and force out of him early in the round, barring tap. So, great 2v2 play there coming from Oasis, really landing their shots, winning their fights, and here goes more aggression once again coming from Oasis. Markio slowed down, but he's able to go back for the meantime.
Aggression? What aggression? That's what Papi Chulo says. Just say no to aggression. Say no to bullying. Use your words rather than your fists. use this knife. Stay suppressed. That's why it totally works, right? Those anti-bullying programs. But let's see right now, South Built Esports ready to fight back and bite back. OASIS Gaming headed over to the site. They haven't planted though as of yet. Does seem like they're baiting out that orbital strike, but a great adjustment there for Flippy. Heavily scaring off Oasis even more. Marky though has just no fear. He was ready at the advance. The advance forward, taking care from Marky, getting to Proto, dropping down towards the sand. At least right now he's able to bury Marky there. Oasis have gotten the plant down. Envy there finds Jot too. And these angles are so opportunistic right now for Oasis. The flash comes. Proto doesn't really flinch as much. Still not moving. The fault line is there. For Pro, he isn't scared. Problem is, though, you have to fear the numbers of Oasis. Papi Chulo, a bane on the economy of Oasis. Does he find a few more frags right now? As he's ready yet again to make a play work. Still has one flash hand. Pro right now with the fault line. But SBE expending these utilities just to bait out a bit of the peaks. I think they're trying to honestly get Pro out of here. But Envy will push. He's looking for some targets. He's hungry for more. And in the end, Pro cannot get the hell out of there. Papi Chulo will not escape. Oasis now a lot more secure right now in their position as they have won 3 in a row so far here.
Able to string a third, and that forces South Built into kind of an eco state here. So, bit of a really bait and switch. What the Oasis are doing to aggress on one side real quick, but then kind of re-hit the opposing side just on the rotation very fast as well, not allowing South Built to really be able to set or get a proper read on the scenario. And with that, you can see there Papi Chulo pressed for maybe the pressure going up against him. Throws out that fragment, that molly, even though it was slowed. And just small signs here of South Built potentially starting to feel the pressure that the Oasis are putting upon him.
Yeah, well, Jalaluga was his headhunter to find any heads. He saw 3, but didn't claim any of them. Oasis Gaming decided to go 1, 2, 3. Let's swing together, guys. And well, with all the numbers, saw that signs again. Marky. Oasis should be able to make it to the site anyway. A scramble though from SBE. We do have one Spectre in hand. S stands for sheriffs, but these sheriffs cannot find anyone to jail. Instead, deputized now. Oasis Gaming. They're looking for more. They've gone for the rotation. At least right now, this is a lot more secure for Oasis. And you can really see why they picked this map. These guys have a good know-how on the rotates. A really incredible speed at taking the site. And it's sometimes a blink and you'll miss a situation, but not missing that. Flippy. Envy finds a trade. Beyond that, though, Coco. Oh, Aziz? Okay, this is going to be interesting. A bit of a duel right now between Coco and Aziz. He'll back on away. Saito being taken by Oasis Gaming. Papi Chulo, though, at least making the tap still work, but still dangerous waters here for Oasis, honestly. We've seen South Built Esports find miracles happen in this series before. That's just even fast lane now towards the sites. On action. Oasis Gaming ready for the shot, and it should be Prowlers there finding Papi Chulo, and well, zoomed there by the classic of Envy. 6-5 Oasis take the lead, but you really have to give props to Oasis here, Black and Blue. As soon as they go for the side, they take it by storm.
Yeah, and South Built haven't been successful so far on the retakes, and you can see the fade coming to full effect there. Just that haunt to find where exactly this was within his smoke is so crucial, and yeah, there's no chance for Papi Chulo to win this when the Prowler is right around the corner, so time out called here by South Built. Looking to hopefully secure that 6th round to equalize things up just the same way it was on Bind. But the Operator, for really the first time ever, pulled out here by Ja. Well, not the first time, but the second time ever, pulled out here by Ja. And we haven't really seen it be as effective as we have, at least on map number 1, and have come to expect.
I think it's just how the map works, really. If you think about how you play Fracture, right, where do you go with the Operator after the aggress? You go towards the middle rather than the opposite end. And Oasis Gaming, especially with the speed that they're able to do, they're already there breathing on your neck. These guys are immediately there on site with their execute. And it's just so different compared to Bind, where they would feel the narrowness. They would feel like, okay, there's no way to really circumvent this South Built Esports defense. And now there is. Literally, the map gives you a zipline to go zoom through to make it to the other side. And it becomes really difficult for Jot to position accordingly just because of that. So Oasis Gaming really feeling that their playstyle is so much more suitable in this terrain rather than the last. And now, last round of the first half, looking to take advantage, make it 7-5 perhaps, but it's a little bit dangerous. Wild Oreo, Cyber Cage though in the way. Camera now will be broken by the operator, exposing the hand of the chamber. But you can see that already the vehicles of Oasis ready at the starting gates. Just a countdown right now for destruction, and a drop will just engulf SBE if ever. Jaw. I feel sorry for him because whoa! He finds the shot anyway! Apparently no apologies needed because Pro will get two! Wild Oreo gets two in response too! But huge pickouts here by SBE to at least give a chance for the retake to happen. 2v2 scenario! And now let's see if the Suppress can find the Ripper inside! The smoke will dissipate! Apparently the elements in favor of Oasis Gaming. Assisto the only one left from top to bottom. There will be danger from left to right. There are these angles, and the stun will connect on himself, stalling even more time in favor of Oasis instead. Now they know that they're here in main. Now they know that the hall had the neon, and that will just be fa la 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 and fail for the neon of Assist. Unfortunately, Wild Oreo stares him with eyes beaming, and Oasis will take that last round to give them the lead for the second half.
Hats off to Wild Oreo, finding multi-kill after multi-kill when he needs to. Really plugging in those holes that are torn wide open by South Built here. This is looking pretty dicey for a job. That's what the hunt is so difficult to deal with. There's really no other option there. You can't shoot it out because, well, he was off, so he's not going to have another shot left. And with Wild Oreo always being so consistent in making sure that he's looking where the other team might not be, the other teammates of his might not be, he's making sure that their flanks are protected and no pick goes untraded.
It could have been it for SBE. I was so afraid for Ja, but shutting down Marky like that and Pro suddenly getting two, it was a chance really for Satpol to take back that site. But unfortunately for them, as soon as the smoke dissipated, Ripper getting the drop on Papi Chulo, way too difficult for Aziz to even win that, especially at the amount of distance he would need to flick, if ever, from left to right there. So Southwood Esports now, at the end, finding again that their defense just not up to stuff and snuff to, I'd say, the rest of their map pool. That here in Fracture, they're so much better on the attacking side, in contrast with some of the other maps that we've seen here. But I do believe in recent history, like South Built has found a lot more success on the attacking side for certain maps, that they have really stepped up in understanding more how to play the Assault in Valorant. And that's why they won at stage number 1, because they felt more complete. This time, though, it's only a small gap. And for Oasis Gaming, they're going to need all the rounds that they can get, knowing the fact that Aziz can be a big threat later on. We saw it a while ago with the overdrive towards B sites. Many more possibilities to do so again here.
Well, your tower defense, not as ironclad as we normally might have seen on other maps, but a bit better than the last time we saw them play against Oasis, or any team on Fracture for that matter. Their attacking side, as we said, Dax, not necessarily their most favorable half on almost any map, but this is where they're gonna have to change things. Will Oasis, once again, get the better of them here in Fracture? South Built won it back. Looking like the attacking side here going aggressive towards this disposition, but the disposition between these two teams is that Oasis, they're also waiting here towards the A stack of theirs. Could propose a big problem for Southwest.
And, well, John and Ripper do get the first frags on the board. Southwood Esports, though, able to get away from that push, and instead we go to the side of Coco, finding Pro anyway. Assist there with Envy. Flippy decided to go for a tangle with Coco there. Coco gonna keep up with his 2 left beats. 3v2 scenario. After everything's said and done, Oasis, they played the gamble, but there's still a threat here, and his name is Wild Oreo. Flippy hearing the jumps and shooting down the Cypher in his prime. Putting the hat back on the rack. Now, on this scenario, and just no shot whatsoever. A stellar call by Southwold Esports. They, as soon as notice that, okay, these guys are playing the aggression, we can actually get towards that site. So much better for them to win out that round.
I'm out of here.
The fact that Ja found that information, that they were so deep and got one especially so deep towards A main, meant that they knew that A the site itself had to be unoccupied, had to be unsecured. The only real way they can fend off from this is coming from that CT unless there's someone actually waiting in the site, which there's very low chances of that happening considering of the A main push that will set in place. So good heads up on that to hit the go signal as soon as Ja found that duel there outside of A main. But speaking of A main, that's where Southbuilt seem to want to go. Not deterred by the last round. Don't need to go A B this time. Doubling A on those batteries that Assist got charged up for.
Yeah, we'll see if this can be the voltage for Southbuilt Esports. Not only that though, they stay away from the shorties. So effectively, this puts Wild Oreo and Envy away from the round in this instance. Not only that, they're already just getting through Hall, going through main, and they're checking out the site as much as possible. Coco, can he be conniving here and finally is a single frag? Papi Chulo able to go down, saw that already this corner was occupied. Able to break this, hold it break down. Ja able to find the 2 in behind, and this is Southbuilt Esports primed and ready to take another round. But isn't that the worst situation? You go to a restroom, you try to open it, it looks green, but apparently it's halfway red. The lock's just broken, and someone's already there. Very awkward.
I thought it would be even worse if you're trying to go for a zipline adventure, then at the end of it, someone's staring down at you with a gun, trying to take your money.
Get back! Get back! Wait a minute! How do you go back this way?
I'm gonna just reverse, go up the slope against gravity.
Against gravity. Gravity is just a suggestion, man. Okay.
Yeah. No more hydrogen.
Boomer in?
Yeah. Well, he did the spinny thing, but like a top, it'll eventually stop.
Okay. Ooh. That's how all my Beyblade battles happen back in the playground.
Hopefully with theirs stopped first.
Yeah, because I had the bootleg ones with the real metal.
Oh.
So yeah, so as it spun, it would actually slice the Beyblade around.
Yeah.
I win.
One enemy remaining.
There are Beyblades for attack and for defend.
Yeah. So back in the show, right, there was like the attacking ones, and then the turtle one was the defense one, which was really interesting. Maybe we'll see some spinning tops here later on with the Odin, but beyond that, this is now Oasis Gaming having to deal with Southbuilt Esports, who have made that recovery, and hasn't that been the case of the series? And SBE feel like they're down and all the chips are on the line. That's when they just get even better. They made it to the playoffs in a do-or-die scenario versus Bren, and a few jokes here and there about Pro, but beyond that, he has been incredible too. Not just the setup, but also the knockdowns. And Papi Chulo with the plant. Also, such a stable point here for SBE. The Oasis Gaming now having the angle from the high ground. They still have a few opportunities here for Oasis because SBE have decided to only put 3 on sites. They do go for the Prowler first though, and they're searching for Ja. Now that they know the chamber is there, they decide to converge for the site? This Prowler should have seen him, but no, Ja will get the 2 anyway! Opportunity made by Ja! Pro is there to blow up Coco! And for Oasis Gaming, it all falls apart. I honestly thought that the Prowler started latching onto him, but it does feel like that because of the duration, Oasis with the deadly assumption there that no one was there to call it home, and from that point on, the peak and the timing was perfect. Southbuilt Esports, they have guards on all sides, and that is why you spread out for SBE.
That was complete proper timing. Just look at that. I was watching the Prowler very closely as that moment came, and it said expired at the last second that he was about to turn the corner and actually find Ja on that hard right now. Good heads up by Oasis to check it in the first place, knowing that Ja likes to play there, but unfortunately it just doesn't work out, and there was no way that was super outplayed by Ja because he couldn't even hear it coming in the first place, so luckily for him, just able to dodge it.
It like started latching onto him, but it expired before it could get him. Heartbreak for Oasis Gaming, man. That was just like half a second too late on the duration. And now SBE gun advantage, momentum advantage, and looking to just do what they did in that last map anyway. Keep rolling with the punches, rolling with the rounds. Flippy will already get 4 kills in. Come on, Southbuilt Esports, be a good sport. Give him the ace, why don't you? Just scout. Assist. No, Assist is scouting. Scouting, look, they're waiting. Okay, Ja, let him have it.
Okay, he's running away. I think
I'm looking for Flippy.
Steal this away though.
No, Papi, please. Papi, please. No, he died for the cause. He died for the cause! Yes, the ace is given to Flippy. They have a lot of money anyway.
I think they're one of the teams that really do not care about like going for the aces. They'll just
they don't.
actively take it away from each other. If anything, over giving it. So
look, we're the ones who cheer it on because we don't care about it, honestly. Yeah. So we get to enjoy it. They don't do like, oh, Papi Chulo died. That's unfortunate for our economy.
Yeah. It's not like and the ace more. They got the ace.
Yay!
Good for you. Yeah. This card's thrown, and OASIS, let's see if they can rally back here. No operator is still coming out for OASIS' side, but the question is, who exactly would you put that on? Maybe on a controller, but Marky being that Neon gives you a lot less initiating potential if you did have an operator in his hands.
I think Waldorio can be pretty much the target here for that, if ever, but he still sticks around with the rifle, and OASIS Gaming, they stick it to Aziz. Caught in the fly paper, the Neon swatted away. Sample esports now. Moving towards that A site, but this is dangerous territory here for SPE. Waldorio setting up a maze of his own construction and ready perhaps to destroy SPE as soon as they establish a foothold. Spike though, into the corner now, being planted. OASIS Gaming coming in from up top. Aftershocks there, but you mentioned it. Camera being quite a pest, giving some big intel. Wild Oreo trying to be cheeky with the shots from the smoke, but at least right now, SPE able to get in cover in time. Sees though played out. Envy looking for anyone to catch, but they're already here lined up. Envy gets one, but Giants there for the trade anyway. Almost strike the play. Sample esports finding Raz here for the Giant again with the board, and Ripper, the only one that right now facing off against Flippy on the other side. Has to reload, still offered here. Classic in hand, but Flippy keeps it right side up for SPE. OASIS Gaming, they felt they had that one in the bag, but Sample esports finding the angles anyway from the holes and from the side. They will take the round.
That orbital strike was a bit too early from Flippy to really catch him, but hey, at least made sure that they're going to have to front that aiming position with South, but love to have happened to them when they get those proper duels. So they know they can do best, but the counter from Ripper, and I don't even think Flippy ran out of ammo there. I think he just stopped shooting, switched to his weapon because he thought he already confirmed the kill. And that he was almost right in as he brought Ripper down to very low HP, but man, oh man, very dicey for both sides. It was actually Ripper who did run out of bullets in the mag. And in that case, well, so much more difficult to try and engage at that range with the Classic, with Flippy still having a decent amount of health. South Built continue their lead here on a round they arguably shouldn't have taken.
I mean, things are looking up for South Built. This is playoff South Built esports already in the upper brackets. And why? Oh, why? We have this matchup already to start things off for SPE. I have to say that it just looks so much more refined than their last outing against OASIS Gaming. They have adjusted accordingly, especially now into the second half. And a while ago on their defense, they just prevented really the overrun at the start. I think the fact that they adjusted that tower a little bit, putting Jaw there to reinforce Papi Chulo playing a few more different angles, it gave them a bit of a buffer, or in this case, just a handful of rounds to tie it up now on the attacking side, knowing that SPE is so much better on their attack rather than defense. And this has just been so well timed and well executed by South Built. Many times that they find where OASIS is going, they absolutely convince themselves to concentrate on the other side of that same site. So if OASIS decide to go for the expedition towards them, they're gonna go for the rotate. They're gonna use that zip line, and at the very least get the drop and the backstab on OASIS with the numbers in hand. And that's been the biggest deal here for SPE. Very different way to attack here for SPE compared to OASIS, just so quick at taking the site. But this is so much more efficient here. Fast lane down into play, as this right now with a few stunts. Null Command is there too. OASIS having to respect this because they're on an eco state, and SPE get on site for free here.
Well, you might argue that it's kind of a bit of a waste to use. Oh my god, that's a lot of utility. Rolling Thunder, especially thrown on in. I was just going to talk about the Null Command, but it does help him, you know, make things a lot more one-sided, because that's the only thing OASIS can fight with, is with that Null Command. But Papi Chulo keeping him at bay. Ripper going to be taken down as well, but still pretty dicey. 2v3, winnable by OASIS, especially after this shot connecting from Coco. 2 versus 2. Sheriff's abound. Coco does retrieve that Phantom to use. B main and Arcade, a direct 180. Pins are split. It's what they're working with here, but Flippy taking so much damage. Coco does get the kill. It's all on the Flippy, but Invi will get the kill and the round. Oasis convert the eco once more.
You just make it work. You're saying something? Southfield Esports, they do need to go for the commitment there, and that's why they go for the null command. That's why they go for the rolling thunder. But it goes from bad to worse, and now this puts Oasis back into the fight, winning that Thrifty, getting 2 ultimates away from Southfield Esports. And not only that, just catching SBE off guard. It just doesn't feel as secure compared to the Oasis offensives here for Southfield Esports. That's why they had to go for that null command after the fast lane, since they didn't feel too safe into the angles. And it just didn't matter because Oasis is able to play the picks, play that time, and Invi. But someone needs to be the hero here for Oasis. He just becomes that incredible yet again. Puts on the suits and puts on the show. Now then, 10-8 scoreline. Here we go with the tour de force brought out by Ja. They're creeping on in towards yet again to Wild Oreo and his man cave. Camera ready, trips are there, and let's see if Wild Oreo can just be the roadblock again here, as Assist should hear this coming. SBE now might be the marker for their attack.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a second one. 2 hurdles for them to hop on over, and that can catch Resist off guard. Especially that last one here towards him, and he's going to run right into it, and he's going to get found by Wild Oreo. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. And that's one of the best utilities to shut down a Neon like this. Here comes a stun though. Wild Oreo is going to be hard pressed to do much work here, but he still can get the kill. Okay, so Presser's gone away. He's going to get found though. Guy able to get that kill, but the slowing orb's going to make things a lot more difficult for Oasis to push through the smoke. Almost gets a follow-up kill here in a Ripper. 2v2 has that tour de force to really utilize. Still does not connect the shot. Ripper is doing a great job of making these shots on out, and they're not going to have any information that he's coming from here. But that Prowler will give him away actually, and now they know he's here towards A main. Josh has a bit more to play with. Here comes a Prowler as well. Denied. They know he's on the second floor. He does have his anchor to TP away, but he doesn't even need it. Ja, direct counter, direct fight, and directly secures the round. 11-8. A single one away from match point.
Anchor and tower, perhaps. He's just really guarding the spike there for Southfield Esports. That point on, looking down on the opposition, but this was really such a big pickoff here by Southfield Esports. The fact that Papi Chulo got through over onto the Cypher, giving them command on the site, and it's a little too late to prevent that kill. It became a trade instead. From that point on, Oasis Gaming, they lost the foundation that they were relying on towards that A site, and for the SBE, that site taken, they had the angles there from the high ground. Enough was enough to get that round, and really, Papi Chulo now, null command prepared yet again. Very quick right now here for the KO to be a factor. And you can see it as soon as he decides to be the beacon of hope here for SBE. There'll be a message to Oasis to just get the hell out of their way or get slain. Still though, Southfield now. Pinch being prepared. But on the contrary here, Oasis actually putting Invi on the other side. Problem is though, first defenders and first marks already blown here by Oasis. Southfield Esports able to make it on the side, onto the tower. Ripper though, making the short count at least. And he even has a rifle. Finds a frag there over to Flippy. Southfield cannot secure the site as of yet. First shot doesn't get connection. Second shot isn't enough. Bro with a takedown there. It's everything left yet again to Indy, but this is such a difficult scenario for the Fade. Pretty much really a nightmare he's walking into.
They're all low though.
They are all low. Except perhaps Ja. And he's the first contact here. If he can get the kill onto the chamber, there is hope. And it seems like it will be the light here for Oasis. Backs on way thanks to the fault line. Pichulo though not overextending. Flash drive instead. Keeping Envy at bay. SBE still have to. Pichulo though will fall. All left now to Pro. Doesn't have the rolling thunder as of yet, but one bullet can slay Envy. Time is running on out. And as soon as he goes for the stroll, Pro is there. With a mind over matter. Getting SBE to the round that matters. Match point for Southfield Esports.
They make it costly, but Southfield, they have more than enough bank to continue buying up here. Even if they lose this time, they can still buy. And more importantly, they have so much more economy to work with now. I think Pro is like a single orb or two away from his rolling thunder. Should be only one at this point to even have it.
Yeah, he got the kill.
Even have it after that final kill. And so Yeah, you're right. Look at all this they can throw out. Now there is the orbital strike and one away from both of, well, the big waves that OASIS can throw at them in that Nightfall and Rolling Thunder as well. So all they can really fight with, but can they even pop that if Papichulo's got his null command online?
Yeah, it seems like OASIS, they need to do a rain dance right here, right now. A tsunami to throw back at SBE. Since these ultimates are looking very, very ferocious for South Build Esports. This is Papichulo Pro already there. And they're controlling the halls. South Build takes command of the series, especially in the second halves. And the overdrive right now propelled them for even more success. Flippy finding Coco. OASIS coming in from the defensive spawn. But this is dangerous right now for OASIS. Foothold established. South Build just looking for more. Orbital strike is there though. Ripto ever clarify Papichulo. Waldoria comes in big with a 2-game flip. So burning Waldoria. But here we go. Rolling Thunder is there. The Pioneer that is thrown looking for the frag over to Infi. And we're still not done. 2v2 scenario. SBE. Slowing down the pace though. Given
One
a chance
enemy
to put that
remaining.
spike down here. Ripper though is there to fight Ja. Oh, let's throw now.
Bro's gonna have a big task at hand here. They are coming from the same angle, so a single flash can do them both on in. Peeking out, they know where he is. He's gonna swing with that gold line. Gets the one, gets the second! Bro,
Attackers
he
win.
started the whole scene and he can damn well end it once more. 13 away, South Built with the ROG clutch and the series 2-0.
Pioneer staking his claim, and Southfield Esports decides to risk it all and go for the 2-0. Absolutely well played by SBE.